Ben, thanks for appearing on the podcast. So can you introduce yourself to all our listeners?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm Ben from OBD2 Australia, and yeah, that's about it at the moment.
So when did you start the business OBD2 Australia?
That's been going for about a year now.
Right.
Yeah, so about this time last year.
So how's the journey been so far?
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. So it started with, I guess, sort of like testing the sort of like products in the area that I was in, and then it's slowly grown to where it is now.
Yeah.
With different problems, obviously along the way as you grow.
Yeah. Lots of learnings and
Yeah,
challenges and all that sort of stuff. So is there a story behind why you started your e-commerce store?
Yeah, so I've had some other businesses before, like random ones, like a bouncy castle business, and then a drone store, and then just started looking into e-commerce as a good option, something that's like scalable.
Yep.
Without having to spend a lot of money, and you don't have to have a lot of staff. So yeah, So I decided, I'll give something an e-commerce a go.
Yep.
And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, so that's how it all went. So what was the first 3 months like? How did you start the business, I guess?
Just built a website on like WordPress, like WooCommerce.
Yep.
I'm alright with computers, so that wasn't too hard. It's fairly straightforward to use.
Yep.
Had a few ideas, and I was like, we'll try some of them. So I picked one, and then I put a few products up.
Right.
And at the start, just like tested, I literally just like put the products up, and was actually just drop shipping straight from China. So that was proof of concept, and then once that worked, I was like, okay, so now I'll get a bit more serious.
Yep.
And started like ordering some decent quantities, and then just expanding from there.
Cool. So how was the drop shipping stuff for you initially? Because there's there's a lot of talk about drop shipping nowadays.
Yeah.
Some people say it's awesome. Some people are a bit against it. But what's been your experience?
I think depending what you're trying to do, it's a good way to test things, and I think drop shipping definitely works still, especially if you're sourcing things from within Australia that people can't sort of get too easily else. I know around locally from retail, or if it's something that isn't time sensitive. For me, I don't like it because I know when I order something online, I'm like, I kind of want to get it. I'll pay for express postage or whatnot, and then you don't with drop shipping. Especially you just lose control of a lot of that.
Yeah, that's right.
But I have learned now I've sort of grown a bit. Like the key with drop shipping is you don't have to hold any stock, so growth is very easy.
Yeah. But there's as you said, the shipping times, you don't have control over. Providing express shipping, it's just whatever the manufacturer sort of provides.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah. It's like two completely different, almost sort of ways, I guess.
Yeah. So if you could explain in one word what running an e-commerce store has been like for you, what would it be? I guess.
Learning.
So it's just been constant learning about product marketing. What's been your biggest learnings?
Pretty much everything really. I guess you want to do something and you listen to a few podcasts and hear what sort of other people are doing.
Yep.
Then you're like, well, I'll learn how to do that. So you get on YouTube, you watch a few videos and you give it a go.
Yeah.
Especially around marketing, paid Google advertising, Facebook marketing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So YouTube's pretty much been your best mate.
Pretty much anything you want to know is on YouTube, so it's pretty good.
So what is your number one tip for someone selling online?
I think number one tip would be to work backwards in an area that you're passionate about. So if you can find, an industry or product, or the products gets used in something you do yourself. So if it's a product that you would use yourself or you're passionate about it in some way, then have a look at the trends on Google and see what information you can find out. You'll see you could be 2,000 people in a month are searching for the certain thing or a question on it.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of work backwards and be I could provide a product for that.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good way of doing it. I never really thought about that. So I've got like lots of passions myself, and I've been looking for like an idea, I guess, for e-commerce. But I always think of like the ones that sort of already been done.
Yeah.
But I think if you do it like that, you can kind of see a trend, and maybe that trend hasn't been tapped by an e-commerce store before. That it's still, that niche is still ready, is still there to be hit. Yeah,
for sure. And it doesn't like necessarily like if it's quite good if people are searching for it, and there could be some competitors in the space already, but if there's like other terms around it, or their product isn't quite as good as what you could do with just a slight change or better support, it doesn't have to be anything. I don't know, even if you explain it better with a video, all those little things will help you like sell above your competitors.
Yeah, true. So for someone who may be just starting their e-commerce journey, where should they be focusing their energy?
I would do that first. There's a tool called like SME Rush, and you can get a free trial on there for 2 weeks. That's a pretty good one. Jump on there. There's a tool called Keyword Magic Tool. You can just bang whatever in there. So you could put in, I don't know, like soccer ball, or bubble soccer, for example, whatever you want to put in there, and it'll tell you how many people in Australia are searching that like month by month.
Right, cool.
And it'll show the competitiveness of it.
Yep.
So from like there you can get an idea, and it could also like show like other things sort of like linked to that, so you could find like some other like avenues maybe to go down.
Yep. So is that SEM Rush thing, is that the Google Chrome add-on, or is that something different?
Yes, they have an add-on as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can get a 2-week free trial. If you actually pay for it, it's pretty expensive, but
yeah, at least if you've got 2 weeks to sort of get your idea down, you can get that trial and just use it for what you need to use it for, which is to understand, okay, what niches can I hit, what product ideas are out there, sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure, and you can just like export all the data and like into Excel documents anyway, so you can keep it, you can have it there.
Yeah, cool. So how did you get into the OBD2 niche?
I'm interested in like those sort of things, and I needed one once like a years before, and they're quite hard to find, and there's quite a bit of like technical like knowledge around them.
Yep.
So you kind of got to sell that like with the product. It's and then from that like niche, it's pretty much car accessories really, you could say. And then if like someone's interested in like that, they're probably going to be sort of like interested in something else, because if you're interested in your car, you're probably going to be interested in like anything you can get for your car.
True. Yeah. So OBD actually stands for something, right?
Yeah. So that's basically like onboard diagnostics. So that's basically in your car, it has a computer, so you can sort of talk to your car. You can like see what's wrong with it, or do different things. Yeah.
So you still like the readers and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, the readers, scan tools, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, cool. So you spoke about passion and following, I guess, your passion. So do you believe that if you are passionate about your niche, you'll be more successful?
I think it'll be less boring.
Yeah.
For sure, but I guess it's one of those things, like you got to, I don't know, take for example, I think a good product page, because a good product page is pretty important. Like a good product page will probably have some good pictures, a good brief description, a video of the product being used, a like more in-depth description, and then some like frequently asked questions. So if you have to start creating that content yourself, and it's not something you know about or are interested in, it's a real pain to try and create that content, and that sort of content is as well what makes you sell products.
Yeah. Do you guys find that video helps you a lot, considering that e-commerce is mainly just a visual sort of thing? Yeah,
I think video definitely helps a lot, especially when your product, because the product's slightly technical, it's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah.
And a video, or whatever they say, a video explains it a lot better. And then you sort of get to that point where, depending on how technical the product is, you almost need a 20 video series to explain it and step people like through all the different things it can do.
Yeah. So what are some challenges you have faced, and what did you do to overcome
them? The challenge now is actually, and this is why I was talking before about drop shipping is quite good, because you don't have to hold stock, so our cash flow is not so much of an issue. But if you want to grow, obviously you got to hold the stock, and so that means you have to buy the stock. So, and and like e-commerce, your margins aren't huge, so even if you do quite well, it's still not. You still have to get money from somewhere. So you basically have to borrow money, really, if you want to grow fast.
Yeah.
So that was one thing, sort of like recently that's happened. So it's quite good because we have both like PayPal and Stripe on the website.
Yep.
Quick on like a side track. PayPal's you pretty much have to have PayPal really if you have a website, because we found we didn't have it and a lot of people asked for it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't offer PayPal on your site, I think it's also like a trust thing.
100%.
Like, if you don't PayPal on your site, then it's like, oh, okay, these guys might not be legit or whatever. But also, it's like a pretty popular payment method anyway, right?
Yeah, so 100%. So we have Stripe and PayPal. Stripe, I think, I don't know what the fees are, but I feel like the fees are almost like half of Stripe. So I don't know.
PayPal's fees?
Yeah, like PayPal. PayPal's like fees are a lot more. So whatever they take like per transaction, 2.5%. I don't actually know what it is. Yeah. But then leading into what I'm about to talk to about the cash flow and getting stock, is that PayPal will borrow you money based on your past transactions.
Yep.
So you can just go on your PayPal account, and there's a thing called PayPal Capital, and it takes like all of about 2 minutes, and you can get whatever they'll like lend you into your bank account.
Right.
And you pay, I don't know, like a one-off fee. So it's normally around 2.5% to like 3% of the total amount. So that's like the one-off fee you pay.
Yep.
And then every transaction, they start to pay themselves back. So they might take 20% of every transaction to pay back that loan.
Right. And then once the loan's paid off, you get that, whatever the original fee was, right, 2.5%. It goes back down to that, right?
Yeah. So like you say you borrow 10 grand.
Yep.
You might have to pay like $250. So your loan amount's actually like 10,000, like 250.
Yep.
And so like then as your transactions like come in, boom, 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 you like slowly pay it off, and then you can like reborrow.
Right.
So because obviously if you want to grow, so you want to double in size, you got to buy twice as much stock.
Yeah. So that's a good way of raising capital then.
Yeah,
you don't
that's
have to go chasing, the banks or capital investors or what have you.
Yep.
Just direct from source, I guess you could even say.
Yeah. That's one way I found, and then so that was like one problem, and then kind of the same like a money thing is I'm just catching up on my accounts at the moment, so I'm pretty far behind. But whatever you do, make sure it's even like worth just like getting an extra if you just create an extra account and get an extra card, like it's free to do. You just do it on your app or whatever it is. Like it doesn't matter what bank you're with.
Yeah. And
like that way, it's a lot like easier to split out your transactions when you're going back.
Yeah.
Because if you put them in with all your other like normal card, which is what I did, which wasn't very smart, because I was like, this probably won't work, so I don't have to worry about it. Who knows? So, but now you have to try and like pull them all out, and then like catch up with your accounts, and
yeah, it can be a bit hard, I guess, having to dig through your whole purchase history more or less.
Yeah, so going through that now, and then just keep on top of your accounts. Even I'm sort of going through it now, and if you can find a good bookkeeper, there's small little things you got to check up on, like the merchant fees for Stripe have GST included.
Right.
But for like PayPal, there's no GST. So there's always like small little things that I haven't found